Good evening, I'm Andrea Chisholm and welcome to the Business Day. Local hoteliers are reporting no major damage from the passage of Hurricane Beryl last week. In fact, those on the north coast appear to have been spared the worst. Javon Keys reports.
It was a rain, sea, sand and wind offering last week as hoteliers and guests weathered the passage of Hurricane Beryl Wednesday. For some guests, it was a worrying experience at first. Nick Boulas is from the United Kingdom.
It was worrying. It's something we've never experienced before. Here at the Jamaican, I think they looked after us really, really well. We'd never felt unsafe. It was a spectacle to witness and to experience, but a lot of the time we were also thinking about the people we've met elsewhere on the island and how they were coping while we were fairly well protected and sheltered from it.
He says he then became somewhat intrigued.
You could see it coming slowly, and then when it did hit, it was just a huge spectacle. Never seen wind like it and rain, and the sound as well. The sound was something that really, really struck me.
General Manager of Jamaica Inn Kyle Mays says this prompted some guests to make this suggestion.
You did such a good job. Maybe you can sell a hurricane experience holiday. I'm not convinced about that yet, though.
That potential service aside, Mr. May says recovery has been making progress despite no electricity from the national grid.
We have, however, been able to, or as a result, reset the property, get things back running very quickly. The team did an incredible job. We had many team members staying with us through the storm, which made the recovery and, of course, our cleanup and repair efforts that much easier and quicker. And we couldn't have done without it. Even our guests jumped in the day after the storm.
At Bahia Principe,
no major damages, the usual leaks, glasses and things like that. But with the wonderful staff that we have, we went through it and all the guests were satisfied with the service received.
the hoteliers say despite a few cancellations, guests are still looking to vacation in Jamaica. It's a similar fate for the attraction Mystic Mountain.
We have a lot of debris, a lot of trees that went down. And for the last 3 days, the team has come together and we're working so hard to get everything cleared up, ready. Our Jamaicans are rearing. They've been calling to ask when it is that we're reopening, and our guests as well. So we are 99% complete. We've done all the safety checks. We had our experts come in, did the safety checks for all our rides.
President of the Jamaica Hotel and Tourists Association, JHTA, Robin Russell, says lack of water and electricity, as well as a few downed trees, are the main issues faced by his members on the North Coast and in Negril. But it's a different story on the South Coast.
There's damage to workers' houses, there's damage to properties. So I would say that the South Coast is going to take a while to get back to where they can operate as a business. I think the first thing is we need to be cognizant of the necessary resources to be put in place, and we're going to be working assiduously to make that happen, whether through private and public sector. Right now, we're organizing some kind of relief through the JHTA to see how best we can go down there and help support.
For the Business Day, I'm Javon Keys.
Jamaica is to access about $16.3 million or 2.5 billion Jamaican dollars in disaster relief funds from the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility, CRIF. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark said the country has received the preliminary modeled loss and policy payment report from CRIF that was triggered following Hurricane Beryl. There was no word yet on whether a payment has been triggered under the government's excess rainfall policy with the Risk Insurance Facility. CRIF represents the fourth layer in government's disaster risk financing framework. Last week, Dr. Clark announced that Jamaica will draw on its contingency and natural disaster funds totaling $4.5 billion. Dr. Clark indicated that the country may have access to other funds. Foreign exchange trading ended today with banks and cambios selling the American dollar for an average $157.68. The Canadian dollar is being sold for $117.75. $200.75 is the average value of the pound, while the euro is going for $172.42. And to the stock market now, the JSE index declined by 670 points today, while the junior market fell by 16 points. Among the 40 winners, JMMB Group's 8.5% US dollar shares, Caribbean Cream, JMMB Group 9.5%, Jetcon Corporation, and Radio Jamaica. The 41 losers include Cargo Handlers, Cygnus Credit Investments US dollar shares, Sterling Investment, Sagicor Select Funds, Manufacturing and Distribution, and Key Insurance Company. 17 stocks traded firm. And that's it for the business day. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Good evening.